Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
I mean, come on. The Flyers grab 2 points in Boston on this back-to-back road trip in Toronto and in Boston. They get all 4 points. This is spectacular. 10-5-2 the Flyers now are, and they are putting together a great stretch of hockey. I know they were holding on late, and I get it. The Bruins had this wave, and they had all the momentum late, but the Flyers still found a way to grab 2 points, and that's all that matters. Grab the 2 points and move the hell on to the next one. It was very impressive. The Bruins are spectacular at home. They are a great hockey team, and the Flyers went into their building, snagged 2 points on the second part of a back-to-back. Carter Hart stole the game late. It was incredible. Before we dive into it, do not forget about the promo code BROADS. If you use it at SeatGeek's checkout page when buying tickets to a game, a concert, or anything else, you get free money, $20 off to be exact. Use it. Get yourself to a game or a concert. It's a no-brainer. So the Flyers had a 2-0 lead. In the first period, Travis Konecny scores from Lindblom and Couturier. That line continues to be a key piece to this team. That line is fantastic. The way they know where everyone is, it's wild. They just have connection. And that's why great lines thrive. It's like they have eyes on every single part of their head. They know where players are going to be. They know where they are now. It's incredible watching that line play. But they end up getting the first goal. And then Phil Myers scores another goal out of this kid. It's ridiculous. The assist, Couturier and Travis Konecny. So how about it? These players, specifically this line, is unreal. 2-0 after the first. No goals happened in the second, but the Bruins came alive more than they were in the first. And in the third, momentum shifted completely. Whoa, hold on. In the second, Claude Giroux had a breakaway opportunity with about 3 minutes left or so and didn't score. Now, rewind back to Toronto. Flyers were up 2-0. The fourth line had the biscuit right in the blue paint, couldn't score on Anderson, and what ended up happening? Toronto tied the game 2-2 later, and we had a chance. The Flyers had a chance to make it 3-0. Well, I initially thought of that, like instantly. As soon as Claude Giroux missed that breakaway, I thought, oh no, this is going to happen again. And it did. Because in the third period, Bruins score about 6 minutes in. The puck is in front of the crease in the slot area. They bang one home. Sort of unfortunate for the Flyers. A little unlucky. Puck bounces right there, but they knock it in. Things happen like that. 2-1. 6 minutes later, Marchand rips one. I mean, it was a snipe. Now, it might have redirected off a stick or off a body or something. They gave the goal to Marchand, so if it did deflect off anything, it was a Flyer, unless they go back afterwards and they end up changing the goal, because they do that sometimes after they review it. But it was a cannon. It was a snipe, and it's hard to keep him off the score sheet. It's hard to keep that line off the score sheet. I talk about Oscar Lindblom, Couturier, and Travis Konecny. How about Boston Bruins top line? That line is elite. That is the top of the top of the top of the NHL type line. I love Oscar Lindblom, Couturier, and Travis Konecny, but they're not on the level of that first line in Boston. It's hard to keep them off the score sheet. And 12 minutes into that third period, they end up getting on the board and tying the game. And the Flyers were holding on from there. Pasta gets a penalty shot. A penalty shot with 5 minutes left in the third, because he slips by Ivan Provorov. Now, by the letter of the law, by the rule book, technically, okay, it could have been a penalty shot. But I've seen way worse not called a penalty shot and just normally called a penalty. This was that case. This should have been just a normal penalty. He was too far away from it to be a legit breakaway. It wasn't too much separation. That's just a minor, in my opinion. It's just a 2-minute minor. You go to the box. But hell, because Carter Hart made the save, okay, I'm cool with it. Carter Hart was so poised in that moment. He stayed with Pasta insanely. And Pasta is known to have these filthy mittens, to undress goaltenders, to have these moves that puts the gitch and the jockstrap of goaltenders up in the stands. He undresses goalies all the time. The poise, the control of the body to stay with Pasta in that moment, oh man! But it doesn't stop there because the Bruins had a power play. Oscar Lindblom trips up Marchand right there at the blue line with 3 minutes to go in the game. The Flyers are holding on. Right off the faceoff, the Bruins have this play. Oh, Carter Hart with the save. Then they're working it around. Carter Hart with the save. They're still moving it around. Carter Hart with the save. But we're not done from there. 3-on-3. Back and forth action. Back and forth action. Flyers, I thought, at the end, controlled the 3-on-3. You had the fans boo big time. The Bruins fans were pissed because, with 3-on-3, it's all about having possession of the puck. Well, the Flyers will work it around in the offensive zone. They'd pull it out behind the net. They'd pass it back to Carter Hart. They'd pull it out of the zone, bring it all the way back in their zone, get a line change. They were milking the clock. And listen, it's all about possession. So I thought by the end of the overtime, the Flyers were just controlling the puck. Not that they had these insane chances. They had a couple 2-on-1s early in the 3-on-3 period. They were trying to move the puck too much, though, instead of getting shots, which ultimately costed them. But they got it to the shootout. And in the shootout, Carter Hart was even more impressive. But before we get to Carter Hart, can we talk about Joel Farabee? The kid. The young kid. With the confidence to come in and just have a little floater top shelf. Ew. Disgusting. Filthy. Gross. Now, that was after Carter Hart already made the save on Charlie Coyle. So Charlie Coyle goes, Carter Hart with the save. Joel Farabee answers with a beautiful goal. Brad Marchand goes. Carter Hart makes the save. Giroux comes down. He just had that sick clap bomb in Toronto in a shootout, so he tries a fake version of it. Gives the windup, goes forehand, tries to make a move. It's a good mindset to try it, to try and confuse the netminder. Is he going to do the clap bomb again? Is he not going to do the clap bomb again? He tried something. It didn't work. Okay. Should we strip the seat? I don't know. Most people would probably say yes in this damn city. What are you going to do? That was a joke, by the way, obviously. Pasta goes again. So he gets a redemption chance. He gets a redemption chance to score on Carter Hart. Guess what happens? The young kid makes the save. The young kid makes the save. He was so great. Fantastic. Stood on his head, and he was a game changer from that third period on. Even the small amount of saves that he made in the first and the second, they were just as meaningful, right? You can't put them aside. They were just as meaningful. But down the stretch, he came up huge. To stop someone like Pasta on a penalty shot late in the third and in a shootout, it's remarkable stuff. The kid shows you why he had the hype, why he has the expectations of the promised land. It just comes down to being consistent. He plays like this, and it is beautiful. He has games where he allows 4 goals on 7 shots or 8 shots, and it looks ugly. He needs to learn. He's so young. Goaltenders do not play at this age like Carter Hart does. It's just not a thing. We have a special talent here. He just needs to continue to play and find that success. But I also think having someone like Brian Elliott, who is a veteran, who is playing really well also, is huge. Because they are competing, but it's a love compete. It's not like they're enemies trying to battle it out and fight each other for that spot. They are as competitors, but there's so much respect. If Carter Hart sits one night because Brian Elliott's going, he's not disgusted and hating Brian Elliott. He's happy for him and hoping that he's going to be successful that night because it's better for the team. It is a very respected battle between the two, and one's a big-time veteran, one's a superstar young kid, and there's just so much respect between the two. It's a perfect situation for both parties. I think also, from Brian Elliott's perspective, having the promised land, having the young kid playing super hot is also pushing him to stay on top of his game. It's not just about Carter Hart getting the pressure from a veteran like Brian Elliott. It goes both ways. But once again, there's so much respect. And it starts with Alain Vigneault. It does. It starts with Alain Vigneault. The guy is great. He really is great. I love watching him on the bench. His systems are working. His message is clear. And it starts with the D zone. Speaking of D, let's talk about the penalty kill. 100%. 100%. This team is successful on special teams. Special teams is why good teams are good. You have to be talented at special teams. It was abysmal in years past. It is the complete opposite. Now, I have to give credit to this assistant coaching staff as well, because they help with that big time. And I didn't love the name Mike Yo. I didn't love it. I like Michelle. He has some experience as a head coach. Like, when you take a look at it, big picture, we have a lot of head coaching experience as our coaching staff as a whole. And it's showing. And special teams is legit. Now, we struggled on the power play. We went 0 for 2. One of our power plays came at the end of overtime, and there were too many men on the ice for the Bruins. They tried to come on the ice too soon. It was a very small power play, very small in terms of time, so there wasn't much time to really produce much anyway, although the Flyers did have one really good look at it at the end of that overtime period with the man advantage, but of course they couldn't cash in because it went to the shootout. Here's what's unique. After putting together 4 points back-to-back on a weekend like this, you have a couple days off, and you have the Washington Capitals. Now, if you follow the NHL, the Washington Capitals are legit. They are threats. John Carlson is putting up points as if he is a star left winger. Okay? He's been unbelievable. This team is firing on all cylinders right now. Can the Flyers stop them? Can the Flyers put together a victory and make it 3 straight wins? In Toronto, in Boston, against the Capitals. This will be a good test for this team. It'll be a good test for this team. I'm excited for the opportunity. You need to look at the opportunity in the eyes. Say, I want it. I want it. Let's see them answer. They get a couple days off to rest. Well, I'm not sure if they're going to rest. I'm sure Alain Vigneault will have them on the ice at times. They might have a day off or so. But they have no games until Wednesday. So it gives them a breather, gives them time to regroup themselves, and attack it. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.